Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Grandharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Jai Gopanandi. All glories to the assembled. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 O my Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, translation and commentary by Srila Prabhupada, Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order, chapter 29, talks between Narada and King Prachini Barhi. Today's text, number 28. Shukla Prakasha Bhuyashtham
Shukla Prakasha Bhuyashtham
Lokanapnoti Karhyachit
Lokanapnoti Karhyachit
Dukho Darkan Kriya Dukho Darkan Kriya
Dukho Darkan Kriya Sangs
Tamak Shokot Katan Kuchit
Shokot Katan Kuchit
Shuklat Prakasha Bhuyashtam
Prakasha Bhuyashtal
Lokanapnoti Karnichit
Lokanapnoti Karnichit
Dukho Darkan Kriyaya Sangs Tamak Shokot Katan Kuchit Shuklat Prakasha Bhuyashtal Lokanapnoti Karnichit Dukho Darkan Kriyaya Sangs Tamak Shokot Katan Kuchit. Yeah.
Shukla Prakasha Bhuyashtal Shukla Prakasha Bhuyashtal Lokanapnoti Karnichit Lokanapnoti Karnichit Dukho Darkan Kriyaya Sangs Tamashukot Katan Kuchit Shukla Prakasha Bhuyashtal Lokanapnoti Karnichit Dukho Darkan Kriyaya Sangs Tamashukot Katan Kuchit.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
You want to try?
Well, no, I can't see it.
You can't see it, okay.
I can see it, but I can't read it.
All right. Word for word, Shukla, by goodness. Prakasha, by illumination. Bhuyashtan, characterized. Lokan, planets. Apnoti, achieves. Karhichit, sometimes. Dukkha, distress. Udarkan, having as the end result
having as the end result
kriya ayasa,
ayasa,
full of laborious activities,
full of glorious activities,
tamaha,
dhamma,
darkness,
darkness,
shoka,
shuka,
in lamentation,
lamentation,
utkatan,
udikata,
abounding,
abounding,
kvachit,
worship,
sometimes.
sometimes.
Translation: those who are situated in the mode of goodness act piously according to Vedic injunctions. Thus they are elevated to the higher planetary systems where the demigods live. Those who are influenced by the mode of passion engage in various types of productive activities in the planetary systems where human beings live. Similarly, those influenced by the mode of darkness are subjected to various types of misery and live in the animal kingdom. Please repeat, those who are situated in the mode of goodness
Those who are situated in the mode of goodness
act piously according to Vedic injunctions.
act piously according to Vedic injunctions.
Thus they are elevated to the higher planetary systems,
Thus they are elevated to higher planetary systems,
where the demigods live.
where the demigods live.
Those who are influenced by the mode of passion
Those who are influenced by the mode of passion
engage in various types of productive activities
engage in various types of productive activities
in the planetary system where human beings live.
in the planetary systems where human beings live.
Similarly, those influenced by the mode of darkness
Similarly, those influenced by the mode of darkness
are subjected to various types of misery
are subjected to various types of misery,
and live in the animal kingdom.
live in the animal kingdom.
Srila Prabhupada's purport: there are 3 planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. Those influenced by the mode of goodness are given places in the upper planetary systems, Brahmalok or Satyalok, Tapalok, Janalok, and Maharlok. Those influenced by the mode of passion are given places in the Bhuloka and Bhuvarloka. Those influenced by the mode of ignorance are given places in Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patatala, or Patal, or the animal kingdom. Qualitatively, the living entity is the same as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but because of his forgetfulness, he gets different bodies in different planetary systems. At the present moment, human society is overly influenced by the mode of passion, and consequently people are engaged in working in big factories. They forget how distressful it is to live in such places. In Bhagavad Gita, such activities are described as ugra karma, that is, distressful activities. Those who utilize the energies of the worker are called capitalists, and those who actually perform the work are called laborers. In actuality, they are both capitalists, and the workers are in the modes of passion and ignorance. The result is that there is always a distressful situation. In contrast to these men are those influenced by the mode of goodness, the karmis and jnanis. The karmis, under the direction of Vedic instructions, try to elevate themselves to higher planetary systems. The jnanis try to merge into the existence of Brahman, the impersonal feature of the Lord. In this way, all classes of living entities in various species of life are existing within this material world. This explains superior and inferior life forms within the material world. Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Ajnana Tivarandasya Jnanam Janashalakaya Chakshura Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master who is kindly opening my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Okay, so through about text 25, Narada Muni has been explaining to King Barishat the details of his allegory, explaining all the different symbols, what this stands for in his story, the story of King Paranjan. Now, starting a couple of texts ago, actually with Gauranga Prem's class yesterday, he did 26, 27. What Narada Muni is doing now is he's very concisely summing up the miseries of material existence. Just saying, this, summing it up. This shows you, this whole story shows you how miserable. Open the door there. No, everybody's. You gotta.
That's okay. You're cold. It's fun.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm the old cold guy, old cold bones.
We're here for you.
Yeah, what to do? So, just summing up the miseries. He just opened that one.
Close it again.
Yeah, I know. Just let him go. Bye. Okay, so today's Bhagavatam verse actually, you can leave that open. It's a little farther away from you. It's all right. And the rain is stopped. Now, leave it closed, please. Thank you, dear Oji. So this verse really echoes a verse in the Gita. Does anybody knows this Gita verse?
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know the Sanskrit.
Urdvam means up.
Carry on, Maestro.
Huh?
I said, carry on, Maestro.
No, oh, you know the English?
Yeah. Well, I know the verse that the Gita that says that those who are born, those who die in the mode of goodness, they go to the higher planetary systems. Those who die in the mode of passion stay on the earthly planets. Those in the mode of abominable mode of ignorance dwell in the animal kingdom.
Yeah, actually it says situated because it's not the time of death kind of verse, but those who cultivate those modes. It's the same idea ultimately, but yeah. Urdvam gachanti sattvasta madhye tishtanti rajasa jaghanya. In the horrible guna vrittistadho gachan. And you better close that one now, it's drafty. Adho gachanti tamasam. Just
a little bit.
Pavitra was considerate enough to just open it a little bit for herself.
Somebody opened it all the way, I don't know.
No, that was zero. Just leave it.
Can't open it again if I lock it.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Adho gachanti tamasa. So yeah, so Krishna says sometimes, whoops, here we go. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets. And those in the abominable mode of ignorance go down to the hellish worlds. So let's take a look at the purport, because Prabhupada, it's just like today's verse, and he says some things that sort of complement this purport. It's not long either. Purport. In this verse, the results of actions in the three modes of nature are more explicitly set forth. There is an upper planetary system consisting of the heavenly planets, where everyone is highly elevated, according to the degree of development of the mode of goodness. The living entity can be transferred to various planets in this system. The highest planet is, who knows the highest planet?
Brahmaloka.
Brahmaloka, or sometimes it's called Satyaloka, planet of the Messiahs, Prabhupada says in the third canon, where the prime person of this universe, Lord Brahma, resides. We have seen already that we can hardly calculate the wondrous condition of life in Brahmaloka, but the highest condition of life, the mode of goodness, can bring us to this. And those planetary systems, those heavenly planets, there's a gradation. Like if you go to Svargalok, that's really for enjoying, like the heavenly damsels and the Somarasa and all that. But you go higher than that, and then you have more purified people, more purified goodness, and it's like Tapalok, Janalok, Maharlok. These are the planets of sages, Siddhalok. So finally I come to Brahmalok. The mode of passion is mixed. It is in the middle. That's like where we are. Between the modes of goodness and ignorance. Yeah, it's no accident that Earth is right in the middle of it's in the 7th planetary system. So we're in the 7th level, 7th dimension. A person is not always pure, but even if he should be purely in the mode of passion, he will simply remain on this earth as a king or a rich man. That's like, good luck with that. That's pretty rare, right? But because there are mixtures, one can also go down. People on this earth in the mode of passion or ignorance cannot forcibly approach the higher planets by machine. In the mode of passion, there is also the chance of becoming mad in the next life. I was just listening this morning walk. It was July 28th. Yeah. Venice Beach. Prabhupada is with Jayadurga Brahmachari and anyway, some old godbrothers. And they were talking about going to the moon a little bit. And Prabhupada said, they can't go to the moon because they're not fit. And it's because these scientists, they all drink, they smoke. If you want to go to a higher dimension, you've got to purify your consciousness, so you're admitted there. So the only way they know to try to go to other places is through these gross machines. But there's an easier journey, an easier way, to go to higher planets by purifying your consciousness, purifying your existence. The lowest quality, the mode of ignorance, is described here as abominable. Jaganya guna vrittista. The result of developing ignorance is very, very risky. It is the lowest quality in material nature. Beneath the human level, there are 8 million species of life, birds, beasts, reptiles, trees, etc. And according to the development of the mode of ignorance, people are brought down to these abominable conditions. Same soul, but then it gets covered by lower, heavier modes, denser modes. The word tamasaha is very significant here. Tamasaha indicates those who stay continuously in the mode of ignorance without rising to a higher mode. Their future is very dark. Yeah. There is an opportunity for men in the mode of ignorance and passion to be elevated to the mode of goodness. And then Prabhupada says, and that system is called Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada is saying to the devotees on the walk, it's very hard, they were saying to Prabhupada, it's very hard to convince these people to give up these habits. And then Prabhupada just turned to them and said, well, you were doing the same thing. And then everybody laughed. You were smoking, taking intoxicants, having illicit sex, and, just really gross. But Prabhupada was able to introduce Krishna consciousness. I think I've shared with you before how in my initiation, just before the ceremony, Prabhupada was comparing all the other processes of purification to a silversmith, or a sculptor, chipping away at a stone to try to make some sculpture. And then Prabhupada said, but Krishna consciousness, one stroke, boom. He said, it's like a sledgehammer. Doom, everything finished. You take all those bad habits. Yeah. Okay. But one who does not take advantage of this opportunity will certainly continue in the lower modes. Okay. And then in my notes I say, notice that both in the Bhagavad Gita verse that we just looked at, and in Prabhupada's purport, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna associate the mode of ignorance with lower hellish planets and also lower species. It's like when it's really hot, when I'm going into the door in my room, there's little, these little lizards that are all around, you see them scurrying around. Well, they're trying to get relief from the heat too. So when I open my door, there's maybe something near the door or under the flower pot next to the door, and they scurry away. But before they scurry away, they look at me like, "What are you doing? Don't you know you're causing me suffering by causing me to be afraid and get out of my shade." Yeah, So these are like what or even if you walk by the birdcage, and there's jiva souls in there, same souls as we, but they're in lower modes, And even within the species, like the lovebirds, they look lovey-dovey. Of course, they don't do lovey-dovey things. Sometimes they, or like Sufi,
Very deeply in the mode of ignorance.
They're deeply in the mode of ignorance, and so he'll look at you like, "Yeah, get away." Just like people, like Prabhupada would say, if you walk on somebody's property in the West, immediately, rough, get out of here. This is my property. Or like at Raj's house, the sign Raj has on his gate. Is there life after death? What does it say? Hop the fence and find out, or something? Because there's a dog there. So lower modes. Lower the modes, the denser the consciousness. Yeah, or we can say, okay, so I'm laughing at lower species, but also the demigods. They have much higher consciousness than us. We have this little perspective on what's going on in our little dimension here on the earth. But there's demigods who have a perspective on the whole universe, and they look at us and we might look on ants, that we think ants' consciousness is very tiny and constricted and only, like when I go on my walks in the morning, not today because it's raining. There's always a place on mountain where ants are just very busy, carrying, because they can carry like 100 times their weight or something. They're carrying these things. And like I'm walking, and if I didn't look down and see them, I would just finish them in one, with my sandal, stroke. But they're completely oblivious to that. So similarly, we're oblivious too, how precarious our situation is in these bodies on earth with very short lifespans. Kamala Jala Dala Jivana Talamala. The life can slip out of our bodies just as easily as a raindrop can slide off a lily leaf. So the demigods have a higher perspective than we do. And
It's yours?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to sing the play?
it all depends on the wind.
Or you want some green?
In Prabhupada's purport, here's a question for you. In Prabhupada's purport, why does he write that both workers in a factory and the owners of the factory are capitalists? Did that strike you when you heard that? Usually you think, it's like...
Didn't he say that both owners in the factory are capitalists and the workers are?
No, he said they're both, listen, well, here's what he said. They're both capitalists, he says. So what does he say then?
Benefit.
Are both capitalists. Well, here, let me just read the sentence again to refresh her. In Bhagavad Gita, such activities like factories are described as ugra karma, that is distressful act. Anybody ever work in a factory? I have. Yeah. Clairol Hair Products, Stamford, Connecticut. Hellish, just repetitive, demeaning work. But I just did it for summer job work, college kid. Anyway, those who utilize are ugra karma, distressful activities. Yeah, but both the foreman and the college kid, temporary workers, whatever. Nobody was having fun in the factory. Those who utilize the energies of the worker are capitalists. That's how we usually think. The owners, like Henry Ford and the Ford factory, whatever. And those who actually perform the work are called laborers. Yeah. Labor and management, capitalists and workers. That's how we usually think. And then Prabhupada says, in actuality, they are both capitalists. Okay, so why does he say that?
They're all out for themselves, trying to capitalize.
They're trying to be enjoyers. Yeah, that's one possible explanation. They both are trying to exploit the resources of material nature to enjoy this world. Yeah. That's how, and one's playing the part of the boss and one the worker, but they're both in the same mentality. And then they're both suffering, Prabhupada says. Not Prabhupada, just Prabhupada says, but we know that. People aren't happy in this world. Typical earth people, trying, mode of passion means always struggling, striving, struggling. Just never give up. That's the message from those who have so-called made it. Just never give up. Never give up the struggle. Never give up the suffering. Yeah, I'm going to make it someday. And that's what
I grew Marge's class, is it Sisyphus?
Yes, the Sisyphus myth, right? That's how it is in the world. And that's what the self-help gurus always tell you, never give up. You can do it. You're going to make it one day. And all you get is suffering. Okay. Then Prabhupada in his purport contrasts these passionate people to people in goodness. And then who are the people in goodness in the purport? Do you remember who he says?
Or what?
Who are the people in goodness in the purport? He says the passionate people.
I think a mixture of all three.
Well, he talks about people in goodness. Yeah, there's nothing pure completely in the material world, but predominantly in goodness. Who are they? Karmis and Gyanis, Prabhupada says. This is obviously Vedic karmi, who take shelter of the Vedas to elevate themselves. Okay, Gita Wallace, where in the Gita is the Vedic karmi described? Chapter 2.
40, 41?
42, 43. Here it is. All right. Men of small knowledge. First Krishna, because he's trying to get Arjuna to rise above the Vedas, right? But if you're trying to because Arjuna was arguing from Veda, Karma Kanda perspective, the family and pious works in this world. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas. Flowery words, which recommend, what do they recommend? Various fruitive activities for elevation to heavenly planets. Oh boy, sounds good, huh? And this is the purport where Prabhupada talks about Somarasa, Kadamba gardens and all this. Nandakanana gardens, enjoying with the heavenly damsels, results in good birth. Oh, wait a minute, we're trying to get rid of birth and death. No, that's what Krishna is trying to get kind of get us beyond the wheel of birth and death. But they think this is good. Go to Svarga and enjoy. Power, yes, power. And so forth. Being desirous of sense gratification and opulent life, they say that there is nothing more than this. This is it. Just do good deeds, be pious, watch your P's and Q's, do everything the Vedas say, and you might qualify to go to bounce up to Svarga. Okay. And what about the Vedic Jnani? Anybody know a Jnani verse? What his aspiration is? What does he want to do? Knowledge. But where does he go? What is he specifically? He's trying to go to a place.
Brahmajyoti.
That's right, Brahman. So we
Chapter 12, section number 3 and 4 maybe.
it's in there, but it's very, it spells out a little better in the 8th chapter, text 11. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, like the Jnanis, learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara, Om, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. This is, and you gotta be pure to do that, to actually break out of the coverings of this universe. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. Yeah, well, forget the would-be Gyanis of Kali Yuga, right? Forget that.
Yesterday.
I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation. And the purport Prabhupada elaborates on these people. Very qualified people, actually. They're not ordinary people. They're beyond the Vedic karmis. Lord Sri Krishna has recommended to Arjuna the practice of Shat Chakra Yoga. He's actually reaching out to, as Krishna does this in the Gita, he tries to reach out to all different kinds of people, karmis, jnanis, yogis, in which one places the air of life between the eyebrows. Taking it for granted that Arjuna might know how to practice Shat Chakra Yoga, because he's a soldier, he's a warrior. The Lord explains the process in the following verses. Yeah. Yes, the Lord says that Brahman, although one without a second, has various manifestations and features, especially for the impersonalists. The akshara or omkar, the syllable om, is identical with Brahman. Krishna here explains the impersonal Brahman, into which the renounced order of sages enter. So you're going to be very elevated to do this. But ultimately, as the Bhagavatam says, Patanti adha, it's boring. So, because the soul is actually is part and parcel of Krishna. So it's like merging, going to sleep, yeah, and then how long can you stay asleep, right? Doesn't last. Srila Prabhupada concludes the purport by saying that the modes account for inferior and superior life forms. So that's what determines whether we come back in the birdcage as a lovebird, or maybe we'll come back as a parrot down the end, or as a Sufi, or as a lizard by my door. It's how we hang out with the modes. But once we give our free will over to the modes, then boy, it's dangerous. We just get blown around through the modes. We forfeit that. And then once we're down there, we're automatically promoted through the species. Unless we get some special mercy, like the soul who we call Abu, getting special mercy. And he gets prasadam, and he hears the holy name, and he gets attached. He wants to come in the temple and be with the devotees. And he becomes a devotee dog, not an ordinary dog. Listen to, I also, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has a little commentary on this verse. In Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary, he says, in the mode of ignorance, people attain tamasic planets, filled with ignorance and lamentation. Well,
It's like this planet.
yes, exactly. That's exactly what I said next. Sounds like planet Earth today. So that means, as the servants of Srila Prabhupada and the Parampara in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have a lot of work to do because we don't like that. His devotee is paradukha dukhi. He doesn't want to see people suffer and lament. He wants to see people happy. Sarve sukhino bhavantu. Let everyone be happy. Yeah, so you have a lot of work to do. Okay, I'm going to read the verse again if you have any questions or comments. Those who are situated in the mode of goodness act piously according to Vedic injunctions. Yeah, that's what they do. Thus they are elevated to the higher planetary systems where the demigods live. Those who are influenced by the mode of passion engage in various types of productive activities in the planetary systems where human beings live. Everybody's, four-wheeled dog race, Prabhupada calls it. Similarly, those influenced by the mode of darkness are subjected to various types of misery and live in the animal kingdom. Anybody have any questions or comments? Oh, okay. Actually, it was a tie. Let's give it to the ladies. Tie goes to the ladies.
I just had made a comment. I don't know where the sannyasi is now, but years ago in Los Angeles, he was from Transylvania. He was really an interesting sannyasi. He just made a comment. He was talking about giving up sex life, and he was quoting some leader, and he said he was using his accent. It was really hair raising. He said
Romanian accent.
he had a Romanian accent. Yeah, it was really, he was so interesting. But he said this leader said, sex life, he said, they don't know what it means to have power. And everybody in the room was just like, whoa. It's like, watching a actor, speaking. But this leader obviously said that, but anyway.
Well, you know who said that?
Huh?
Pat? He said that, but he's quoting Mao Zedong's wife.
No, I don't know, but
who famously said, anybody know this quote? Most people are bewildered by sex because they've never tasted power.
wow.
It's like the ultimate intoxicant, power.
Really?
Yeah, that's what, I wouldn't know because I don't have much power.
Right.
All right, so now we have Kirtaneshwar.
She must have said that in observing Mao Zedong.
Yeah, Mao Zedong had a lot of power.
He was really psychotic. He had a lot of psychotic works.
Yeah, he was a little kooky. I've heard that he got a lot of his advice from his wife, so maybe she had the power. Anyway, go ahead.
So my question is about animals. So you can take an animal birth in a higher planet, correct?
I don't know.
Like you can be like
give an example from Shastra.
Like Gajendra, or there's example. Ayavrata. There's examples of.
Gajendra was on Earth, right? Was that an earthly planet?
I thought it was, or just there's higher planetary systems that you hear about animals, like obviously about Ayavrata and Ayavrata, the elephant, Indra's elephant.
Oh yeah, not a different level of.
You hear about animals being born on higher planets, and my question was about that. Are those lower births or higher births? You hear about, there's descriptions of the higher planets and how there's swans and
I was just going to say, even on this planet, animals, swans, they won't go near even if you go to Reed Park, they're not hanging out with the ducks and the turtles.
We don't have swans, but those are geese. But
aren't there swans in there?
No, swans don't live in Arizona. But they're still higher. They're higher consciousness than the ducks.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen that. I remember when I was in Denmark once, and I went to this chapel. I always go to this lake, and it was it was tempered. It wasn't too hot or anything. Yeah, and the swans, birds of a feather, flock together. So they're in a higher mode. Or cows are in a higher mode than pigs.
Yeah.
They're dumb animals, but they're tinged by sattva-gun.
I was wondering about it, like, because you hear about there are animals in the higher kingdoms too, higher planetary systems.
Yeah, well, it's been a long time since I've been there, if I was ever there. I can't tell you.
Yes, Jamina.
Yeah, well, that's Surabhi cows.
That's a different level.
Surabhi.
Those cows have a higher consciousness than.
Yeah, but they're pure content. No, they're pure devotees in Shantaras. Yeah.
Right, so couldn't you have a devotee in a cat or a dog?
Well, he's getting the mercy anyway.
You'll get a chance of being born again in a good association of eyes.
But it's the soul, it's the same soul no matter what physical body it's in, right?
Yeah, but it's covered by different modes of nature. In Golok, there's no covering.
Just to clarify that the Surabhi cows, they don't have material bodies. They're actually like, they're just, they're Satchidananda.
Yeah, they're spiritual bodies.
So what about in the Bhagavatam, the story of the guy who was reborn as a
Bharat,
deer?
right?
Yeah.
But in the deer body, he was very conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a mercy for him, because he had actually reached the Bhava stage. He had been an advanced devotee, but he wasn't in prema, and he still had this attachment. He was in goodness, and he was taking compassion on this little fawn.
So don't you see that kind of consciousness sometimes, maybe rarely, in animals on Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Actually, dolphins have been known to rescue humans.
Wasn't it? You said that there was an elephant that would come and take darshan every day in South India.
Oh yeah, in South India, special place. They would, the elephant trainers would train their not full-grown elephants. They were pretty. Let's see. Yeah, that's why they had to build the doors so high, because the elephants were so big. Yeah, the elephants would bring everybody would come in Udupi to take darshan of Udupi Krishna. And he would train these elephants, including elephants would come in, cows would come in, and elephants, but they were supervised by humans. So the elephants, on a command, just like you say to Abu, you give a voice command and sometimes he follows it or whatever. So they would do that, and they would, I don't remember a voice command, he would just tap, with a stick or something. And the elephant he would go in front of Udupi Krishna, and he would tap, and then the elephant would bow down, and then gaze upon the deity. He wasn't distracted. He was like, wow, this is not, you can see, like you said, this is a soul, and this is an advanced soul. Temporarily, for some reason, he maybe committed some offense or did something. He had to be incarcerated, in an elephant body. But he was still, he was in Udupi, where everybody's taking darshan of Udupi Krishna in a very reverential way. So, yes.
We were in Vrindavan, and we were sitting, what's his name? Who's the sannyasi in Los Angeles? Forget his name.
Amalabhakta?
Yeah, Amalabhakta. Years ago, he wasn't a sannyasi. He was, we were going around Vrindavan, and he was sitting at some ghat, I don't remember which one. He was giving class, and there was a turtle, big turtle, in the ghat, and I saw the turtle coming towards us, and he came right up on the step, well, not on the step, but right up to the step, and he lifted his head up out of the water, and he looked straight at me, and he opened his eyes, and he looked at me, and I looked down at him, and when he looked at me, he was not a turtle.
Yeah.
I was looking at a living entity. I looked at this turtle, I was like, whoa, who are you, I was offering my obeisances in my mind because, he was not a turtle. I saw some great sage and pure devotee. Huh?
Yeah, he's a Brijbasi, and for some reason they committed an offense or something, and they have to be in as monkeys or pigs or birds.
I don't know, but
I always talk about the birds in Vrindavan. When they look at you, they're not ordinary birds. And the story I told, okay, it's
Unbelievable.
Just something, we had, a lady from New Vrindavan that, came here, and we opened the doors of the temple, and she came in with a chamara, and then they were trained, and did the chamara in front of the deities.
Who was trained?
The little elephant,
Elephant.
yeah, that came from.
Oh, the trunk.
Yeah, they would take the, yeah,
Wow.
right here in the temple room, she walked in and did that.
Wow.
They were on their way back from wintering her in Oracle and then going out to New Vrindavan.
Oh, wow.
And then she was in the front page of the newspaper saying, it said, elephant packs his trunk for Tucson. And it was a color picture on the front page. That's the kind of news that's in Tucson. There's nothing going on. So they put that. And then we had all kinds of people come to see her because, it was a
Oh,
phenomenon.
wow.
I'll keep that stay here for some time,
It stayed for, they stayed for a couple of days and because I think they were fixing the truck or something. So they were able to stay. And it was quite a phenomenon. And we were looking, they didn't have any restriction for having an elephant here in the city. You couldn't keep a cow, but they didn't have anything on record for an
They didn't
elephant.
think
So
of
we're
that.
thinking, wow, if we could only keep an elephant here.
An elephant in our property next door.
Well, we had a horse.
I had a
Uh-huh.
horse too.
He's eating on the grass.
Hmm. They thought of farmers with cows, but they didn't think of elephants. They didn't know who's going to have. And I've shared with you how, the birds, the Krishna book story I tell at Raval, where Radharani is born, appeared actually at the Jamuna on Raval. And so we were on Parikram with Prahladananda Swami leading the Parikram. And so he stops at Raval. And now we're going to hear about the pastime of birth of Srimati Radharani. Oh, no, actually, that's not in Bhagavatam, is it? I think.
Not in the Bhagavatam.
Yeah, but he just, maybe he was a Radha Krishna pastime. Anyway, he sat under a tree branch, and then we all gathered around him. And as soon as he opened the Krishna book, it was Krishna book, actually. Yeah. So as soon as he did that, this squadron of parrots just came and it lit on the branch just above his head. And then they cocked their ears, in unison. And he's reading. And then it's time to move on to the next pastime place, Leelastan. He closes the book. And then they in unison, they go,
Wow.
they heard what they came to hear. Yeah, Brajavasis. Okay, so we want to go back home, back to Godhead, whatever we're Krishna, however Krishna wants us to serve. When we get spiritual bodies, and we never fall asleep, chanting japa like me. All right. Srila Prabhupada, ki jai, Hari Bol.
The weirdest experience I have with birds in Vrindavan is not really strange. We were on that bridge crossing the Jamuna.
Uh-huh.
This flock of birds, and I had this